You can control what I wear, what I eat. Who I talk to. I want every guy you know to want to fuck me. But they can't. Because they know I'm yours. I belong to you.
What caught your attention more, the visuals or the audio? The acclaimed young adult series, Euphoria, captured the public's eye from the very first moment it aired, mostly due to its aesthetic and story-rich plotline. Sam Levinson used an attractive visual story based on lightning, camera work, which paired with hair and makeup became an instant hit between teen and young adult audiences. However, was it really just that what had a whole population of teens all over the world engaged until the very last second of the last season? You guessed it. The Euphoria plotline is based on a whole lot of sex scenes, especially with women. I'm Ariana Hernandez, and I will talk about the problem with Euphoria's nudity. And you might say, I have seen more than one winner in there. Let's remember they were, spoiler alert, a prosthetic.
Different types of dick pics. Solicited and unsolicited.
They use stunt penises on that show.
Yes.
What?
Well, while the male actors in the show have the option to fake their bodies, the women don't. And it can rain pretty bad on them too. Sam Levinson uses a very strategic way of showing how a deeply damaged childhood stays and explains the characters' behaviors as the show goes on. Especially that of Cassie Howard, played by Sweeney, where we can see how her body becomes a big problem for her throughout the series. From the very first moment we see her grow up in the show to the last minute of the last air episode of the series, Cassie is heavily sexualized. We constantly see how she's used for her body, how her nudes are talked and passed around between boy and girl groups, and how she's constantly downplaying her feelings for male validation.
Like a fucking freak.
Cassie's on the slut page?
Wow.
Yo, we got it, son.
The fact is, she's a fucking whore through and through, bro.
While Levinson tried to give us a good background as to why Cassie acts the way she does, this went completely over the audience's heads. And although this proves Sydney Sweeney is a great actress, it also proves that the show plants an ideal woman in real life.
Is it too much?
No.
Absolutely not. Wow.
Sydney indeed opened up about how Euphoria fans call her ugly and even harass her due to the role she played as Cassie.
To a Muppet, and that she's unattractive if you don't look at her breasts.
I think it's really important for people to see how words actually affect people. And I know everyone says, like, you can't read things and you shouldn't read things, but, like, I'm a f***ing person.
Even when the show was directed towards a mature audience, the response we got from it was not as mature as we expected. People had a hard time telling apart an actress from a character. Just imagine how they treat people who are like Cassie in real life. It is not only because Cassie stole her best friend's boyfriend or because she lacks a little bit of self-respect, but the amount of proof and report Sam Levinson tried to give to the audience was utterly destroyed by how they perceived Cassie's character.
Character throughout your career, but do you enjoy getting to play this like messy, horny, complicated teenage girl, and what do you hope?
Well, that's a way to put it. A show like Euphoria obviously strives to reach a level of reality in order to make it relatable. Therefore, there are definitely a lot of Cassies out there, and now we know what people think about these women, even if it's not their fault.
Video. We just couldn't understand how she could have so little respect for herself. But the thing that really pissed him off was when she played dumb about it.
So, can Sam Levinson make a plot-rich and understanding character while overusing nudity? While the cast of Euphoria mentioned feeling comfortable enough, especially Sydney, filming nude scenes, they also mentioned how they had to request many nudity scenes to be removed from the show.
revealed to the publication, Sam is amazing. There are moments where Cassie was supposed to be shirtless, and I would tell Sam, I don't really think that's necessary here. He was like, okay, we don't need it. She went on to explain that she's never felt uncomfortable with Euphoria's intimacy coordinator being there, and she added that she's able to say no to director Sam Levinson when she thinks something doesn't feel quite right while filming nude scenes. Sydney went on to add, I've never felt like Sam has pushed it on me or was trying to get a nude scene into an HBO show. When I didn't want to do it, he didn't make me.
It also became noticeable that the only character constantly seen on camera nude was Sydney's character. As this demonstrates and builds a specific perspective of who she is, it also sets a clear image of how over the line sexualization of women can go, especially since Cassie is supposed to be a teenager. Sam Levinson hit the jackpot by using a raw and open backstory for her, but he overlooked that proving how people see women who behave like she does is only going to backfire. You can prove that Cassie's being over-sexualized while also sexualizing the actress. Even so, in season 2, we see how this constant sexualization spirals out of control, just like the character. Sam Levinson did an awesome job at depicting how the constant hypersexualized teenagers usually end up breaking at some point in their lives, but it was more than understood that Cassie's character was still dismissed of her feelings and painted as the bad guy of the story.
Well, if that makes me a villain, then so fucking be it.
In comparison to the other women in the series, Cassie is the one that is less overlooked, or should I say, stepped on. She's constantly holding the persona of a sweet girl who only wants to be loved, but her character breaks after she realizes she can only achieve this through her body.
I'm gonna be honest with you because no one else will. Any guy who says he's interested in you beyond just fucking you is full of shit. Oh, you're crying now. What else is new?
And once she speaks up about it or says no, she's even more heartbroken. Sam Levinson held a good visual between the victim and the perpetrator in the show, where the victim still gets blamed for how she decides to deal with her abuser. And the audience, instead of listening, only let themselves be guided by what they see. An over-sexualized character should not be explained by an even more sexualized actor. Even if actors are meant to tell and give life to a story, it just becomes words on paper if the producers don't understand the value of the visuals. I mean, they should definitely know better.